What's going on, guys? I am the Crow, and today I'm going to bring you a deck profile for Dark Magician for the February 2020 format. And just to give you like a reason why I decided to do this, well, this is my first ever video for my channel. I might as well make it a deck profile for one of my favorite decks, and also the deck that kind of got me back into the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. So I figured, why not make a deck profile of this? So without further ado, let's just go right into the deck profile now. For first off, we're playing obviously triple Dark Magician. Now, why we play triple Dark Magician? Well, I mean, standard. You want to play 3 just so because the deck revolves around the card, and not only that, but this is how you get your plays going, and the whole deck just like I said, revolves around this guy, getting this guy out to the field and whatnot into the graveyard. All right, up next we do play the 1 Palladium Oracle Mahad and the 1 Magician of Dark Illusion. So, reasonings for this. Alright, so Palladium Oracle Mahad is a spellcaster that can be brought out when you draw into him, and plus it's a name for Soul Servant. When you vanish Soul Servant from grave, you kind of just draw cards extra to the different number, Dark Magician, Dark Magician Girl, Palladium Oracle cards, And Magician Dark Illusion, he's just Dark Magician when he hits the field, and when you play a spell trap on your opponent's turn, you can special summon from the hand. And then if you play a spell trap while he's face up on the field, you can special summon Dark Magician from the graveyard. And his stats are kind of like reverse Dark Magician. That's why I call him the Shadow Magician, the Magician Dark Illusion. And also note about this guy is that when he gets destroyed, he does bring out Dark Magician. So that's why these two are played, because they kind of just you get Dark Magician from pretty much a lot of places. Up next, we do play double Apprentice Illusion Magician. Now, why do we play 2? Well, because you don't really need to see 3 of her anymore, and especially with all the new cards, you kind of don't need to search Dark Magician in the hand all the time anymore. With all the new stuff, you kind of already turbo out Dark Magician as much as you can. So I figure playing 2 of this makes more sense than playing 3. Plus, you want to use her as like a pseudo-honest ability where you can discard her from the hand or tribute her off the field. Note the tributing. Alright, so, and give 2,000 attack to any dark spellcaster on the field. But she's also basically kind of like a free special summon. You discard a card and special summon her from the hand. Note that none of these effects are once per turn. You can activate them as much as you want in the same turn, so that's always a useful thing to know. Next, we play the 1 Palladium Oracle Mana, because, well, it's another Dark Magician type name for Soul Servant. It's a Palladium Oracle Mana. You can special summon from the hand when when a spellcaster is targeted. It has to be 1 spellcaster and no other cards. We did come up with this thing where it's like someone tried to target the Dark Magician's fusion monster, and then it was a Sky Striker matchup, and he tried to blow up my back row. This card got summoned out anyway because it targeted the monster, but didn't target the back row. So it targeted 1 spellcaster and no other cards. I special summoned her, and any level 7 or higher spellcasters are protected by card effects. So she is very good in that. And if she dies, she does bring out Dark Magician Girl from hand, deck, or graveyard, which doesn't matter. I don't play Dark Magician Girl, but she's just another name for Soul Servant to draw. Up next, we play the best normal summon in deck, which is Magician's Rod. So, play the 3 Magician's Rod. Obviously, he is the best searcher in the deck. He searches out your spells and traps to your hand that lists Dark Magician, and if he's in the graveyard and you play a spell trap on your opponent's turn, you can tribute a spellcaster monster and add this guy back to your hand, so he has that nice little recursion back to your hand, which is always nice, so you can set up for next turn. Alright, up next, we do play the expensive card in the deck, which is double Magician Souls. Alright, so reason why I have 2, well, is because I didn't have a 3rd one, and I'm waiting to get a 3rd one, but this is the card that is essential for Dark Magicians, because now it is a you reveal this in hand, send any spellcaster from your deck to the grave that's level 6 or higher. So that's generic level 6 or higher spellcaster. That's that's why Ave Spirals abuse it right now, but and why it has a $150 price tag almost. But anyway, this guy sends the spellcaster to graveyard, and either you special summon him or special summon Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your graveyard. into the field by sending him to the graveyard. But when he's on the field, you can send up to two spells and traps from field or hand to the graveyard to draw that many cards. And he also adds a draw power ability to the whole deck. Sometimes you kind of need him to get Dark Vision out, but yeah, that versatility with him is just amazing. I'm pretty sure that's why he's also pretty pricey. Alright, that's it for the Dark Vision monsters. We're going to go into this. Yeah, you didn't expect to see this down, did you? Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. So I do play 3 because you do search it out with a spell card called the Melody Awakening Dragon. And I kind of run a lot of darks and a couple lights, so I can actually get both abilities of like ripping a card out of your opponent's hand and the destruction ability of 2 cards on the field. And plus, he's a level 8 dragon because I chose him for dragons because you do want to try and go into your Dark Vision dragon fusions as much as possible, especially when Dragon Avarice comes out. He gets even more busted. So I kind of run 3 because that's how it's easy to search him out, and you can use his effect not multiple times, but you can use his effect quite a lot in a duel, so it's pretty nice. And the last dragon we play is Darkest Diablos, Lord of the Lair. So why do we play Darkest Diablos? Well, you do a lot of tributing in his deck, alright, and you search him out with the Melody Awakening Dragon, just like Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, but he's also level 8 and a Dark Dragon, so you kind of want a dragon to try and infuse into Dark Vision Dragon Knight or Dragon Avarice when he comes out. But other than that, he has another cool abilities where if you tribute a dark monster, he can special summon himself from from the hand or graveyard. All right, and which is awesome because you do that. You have Apprentice Illusion Magician who tributes herself to add 2,000. You have Magician's Rod who tributes a spellcaster to add himself back to the hand. You have Illusion Magic to try and tribute and get 2 Dark Visions to your hand. There's all sorts of that. All right, so this deck kind of actually really favors Darkest Diablos, and you can spam him to the field is quite a bit, so that's kind of like why I went for him. Not only that, but he also has a nice his own little effect where you can tribute any dark monster and rip a card out of your opponent's hand, and they have to put it to the top or bottom of the deck. I mean, it's their choice, but you're still ripping cards out of your opponent's hand, which is very nice to do. Alright, that's it for next up. We have the spells. We have double Dark Magical Circle. So why do I have this at 2 instead of 3? Most people play it at 3, I know. But with it being at 3, I saw it way too much where I draw into a circle and nothing else but a circle, so you have to reveal the circle to your, and get it to your hand, which sucked. Alright, so I bumped it down to 2, and not only that, but if I really need to, you can use Soul Servant to stack it right back on top of your deck and draw into it. So I didn't really see it as much as I didn't want to see it as much as I used to, so that's why I kind of bumped it down to 2, and you get the same amount of draw power as you do with the deck normally, being at 3. So I just figured why not bump it down to 2. Plus, anytime a Dark Magician is summoned to the field, it has a cool ability to banish your opponent's card, any card that they have. So it's always nice. It does target, so you have to remember that, and has a hard once per turn. So just remember that. Up next, we do have the 1 Illusion Magic, the 1 Dark Magic Inheritance, and the 1 Dark Magic Attack. So why do we play these? Well, Illusion Magic, like I said, tributes a spellcaster and adds 2 dark Visions from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And this card right here is kind of like a spell version of Magician's Rod, but it banishes 2 spells from the graveyard and adds a spell trap that lists Dark Vision in its text to your hand. This is kind of like the standard lineup for Dark Visions, and then we also have Dark Magic Attack over here, who's just a Harpy's Feather Duster for the deck. So, because control decks are more relevant now, Dark Magic Attack I kind of saw as being more useful now than ever before when the combo decks were going crazy. Up next, we play the Fusion/Rituals Quick Play spell. Secrets of Dark Magic. Alright, so like I said, this is, you want to try to fusion out your monsters from the Dark Vision, the Dragon Knights and whatnot. All of your fusion stuff, you kind of want to fusion them out. And not only that, but this is also a quick play spell, and it specifically lists Dark Vision in its text. So you can fusion summon a Dark Vision fusion monster, or you can ritual summon a Dark Vision fusion monster. So, Dark Vision ritual monster, my bad. So it's searchable off of all the cards in your deck, like Magician's Rod, Soul Servant, and you can stack this on top of your deck with Soul Servant, draw into it, or get it to your hand with Magician's Rod. Doesn't really matter. And the fact that it's a quick play spell, you can set it and put it on your opponent's turn to banish their card when they play something. I mean, I kind of like that ability. Up next, we do play the 1 Eye of Timaeus and the 1 Magicalized Fusion. Alright, Eye of Timaeus, well, because sometimes you don't need to go into your Secrets of Dark Magic. If you just... you used to be able to run 3 of this because you wanted to see this card as much as possible, but not as much anymore because you now have Secrets of Dark Magic to ritual or fusion summon your Dark Vision monsters. So, but also Eye of Timaeus is a really good card just to be able to get that extra fusion for your Dark Vision fusion monsters. It's kind of like one of those cards where it's like if you see it, you see it. And Magicalized Fusion, not searchable, but it's another one of those ones where it's if you see it, you see it. You usually use it to get out Quintet Magician, who banishes 5 spellcasters from your graveyard or field with this card. And if they're all different names, Quintet Magician can blow up your opponent's field. So, I mean, that's kind of what he's used for is this Magicalized Fusion to go into Quintet. But it's like, if you see it, you see it. Up next, we do have the last Dark Magician card, which is the new Soul Servant. This card is super really amazing. Alright, so what this thing does is you can take any Dark Magician or card that specifically lists Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl in its text except Soul Servant and stack it on top of your deck. And then when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to draw cards equal to the number of different named Dark Magician Girl, or play Oracle monsters that are on the field or in the graveyard. So it could possibly be a +4, depending on how you run the deck. I don't play Dark Magician Girl, so it's going to be a potential +3 at most. So, but it's a quick play spell, so you can play it on your opponent's turn. Both effects are spell speed 4, so that's awesome, pretty nice. So you can kind of chain it to anything you want, which is nice. I kind of like to Dark Magical Circle and then chain this to get whatever I want right on top of the deck, so I know I'm getting what I need. Alright, up next is the spell card known as the Melody of Awakening Dragon. This is how we search out the dragons for our deck to get the fusion plays going. Adds any 3,000 or more attack or 2,500 less defense dragon to your hand by discarding a card, and adds 2 of them, by the way. So you're basically, if you have both, you're basically getting all your dragons. Up next, we do have triple Allure of Darkness. All right, now I figured that I actually needed more draw power in this deck as much as possible, so I went with the Allures because you can draw 2 cards and banish dark monsters. Sometimes you don't really need an extra dark monster in the graveyard. As long as you have the right card, you can pretty much get what you want or need right then and there. So I figured draw 2, and plus it digs into your deck a lot more than some of the cards, and I figured I might as well just add more draw power just to get going. Up next, 1 Pot of Avarice and 1 Upstart Goblin. Pot of Avarice because if you see it, you see it. It's shuffle 5 monsters into the deck from your graveyard and draw 2 cards. Just recently came off the ban list, and I'm kind of actually happy about it. So that's pretty nice. Then Upstart Goblin, we all know what he does. It's a 39 card deck at this point. Well, technically it's a 40 card deck because I do play 41, but that's Upstart Goblin is just a blank card. So, and the 1,000 life points doesn't really matter. Up next, we do play the 1 Foolish Burial, and obviously that's just to send any monster from deck to graveyard, mostly a Dark Magician or Dark Magician cards that you need. And this, when I get Magician Soul, when I get my 3rd Souls, this is gonna be taken out probably for that Souls because, I mean, at that point I won't need it. But that's the last of the spells. On to the traps. There's only 4 traps. We do play double Eternal Soul. Why? Because why do I have it 2? Well, like I said, with Dark Magical Circle, you don't really need to see it all that often anymore because you have Soul Servant to search it out and get it back from the graveyard, put it on top of your deck, and draw into it, and all like that. But it's searchable by everything in the deck, alright? But the deck does live and die by this card, which sucks. It does protect your Dark Vision from being affected by your opponent's card effects. So your opponent can't really do anything to your Dark Vision besides attack it. But there's also, if this card gets destroyed, it blows up your whole monster field. That's the biggest downside to it. That's why Dark Visions live and die by this card. But other than that, it does have cool effects like you can special summon Dark Vision from your hand or graveyard. Or you can search a Dark Magic attack or 1,000 Knives straight from your deck to your hand. I don't usually use it for that. I usually use the special summon ability. But sometimes it might come up where you want to search at Dark Magic attack. But other than that, it's like this is the best card for Dark Magicians. There's like, all right. Up next, we do have the one Magician Navigation. Kind of figured you don't need to run more than one because it's not as relevant anymore as it used to be. Sometimes you do. It sometimes does happen where you want to special summon Dark Vision out of the hand just to get your Dark Vision plays going on your opponent's turn, but it doesn't really come up that often anymore. So you kind of run one. All you ever really do is use it for its graveyard effect, where it's like banish itself and negate a spell or trap on your opponent's field if you control a Dark Vision. So that's kind of like what it's ever used for anymore. So that's why I kept it in there. At 1. So now the last trap card we do play is Skill Drain. Obviously one of the best continuous traps in the game, just to negate your whole opponent's field with one card. By paying 1,000 life points, it negates all monster effects on the field. That is amazing. It's one of the most powerful traps in the game. That's why it's limited to 1. And I seriously think that this card is best for Dark Vision because your Dark Vision is normal, so you never gets any effects anyway. And it shuts your opponents off completely. Alright, up next, that's it for the main deck. We're going to go into the extra deck now. So we're going to play one Quintet Magician. Like I said before, Magic Ice Fusion gets this guy out, and he takes 5 spellcasters. If you do 5 with different names, he does have the ability to blow up your opponent's entire field. Blow up everything. Goodbye, all their cards. Alright, but also, when this card is face up on the field, he can't be used as fusion material, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects. But a big 45k booty, he is beast, man. This guy is huge. 45 attack and defense. He is like the biggest boss monster for Dark Missions. We do play the 2 Dark Mission of Dragonite because once Dragon Avarice comes out, one of these is coming out. So, but other than that, he does protect your back row from being targeted or destroyed, and he becomes Dark Magician when he hits the field, and he's also in the graveyard as Dark Magician, so it does trigger off your Dark Magical Circle, and you can bring him back with Eternal Soul. Up next, we do play the D Dark Magician. This is a new fusion monster. So with this card is you take Dark Vision or Dark Vision Girl, any other spellcaster you fuse it into, and if a spell, trap, or effect is activated, doesn't matter if it's on your field or your opponent's, has a nice little effect where you can draw into a card. If it is a spell or trap, you can place it right on the field. And if it's a quick play spell or a trap card, you can activate it on that turn, which is awesome. So if you draw into, let's say, Soul, you can immediately activate it. That is awesome. I think that is like a really good effect, plus its draw pattern. But it also has a floating ability. If you do play the Dark Vision Girl, it does float into Dark Vision and Dark Vision Girl. You have to have Dark Vision Girl to get that effect. It's not and or, it's and. So, yeah, I don't play Dark Vision Girl, so I can never get that effect off. So, but it is a very, very useful card, and I really like it. It can be protected under playing Oracle Mana if you really need it to be. Next up, we have Starving Venom Fusion Dragon for Super Poly target. Obviously, Super Poly. Any 2 dark monsters goes into this guy. I mean, 20 gains non-targeting attack gain. You can steal a card's name and get its effects. And when it gets destroyed, blow up your opponent's special summon monsters. It's nuts. Up next, we have the Xyz, which is Dingirsu. Obviously, because we do play a lot of level 8s, and sometimes you can go into Dingirsu to protect your cards. Raspberry Metal for the burn later on in game. Airborne Illusion Magician for the Dark Vision plays, and then the number 11 Big Eye for just basically snatch steal your opponent's monster. I mean, what more is there to explain other than like that's what these guys do? Yep. So up next, we are going to give you the Link monsters. I play the one Imduk, the World Chalice Dragon. Why? Because sometimes you just leave one Dark Bishop on the field and you need a dragon, so you kind of just link him off into this guide infusion right then and there into Dark Bishop Dragonite. It's an easy way to get into him without having to commit so much to try and get Dark Bishop out. So that's why I like it. Up next, we do play the Beak Cop from the Underworld and the Barricade Board Blocker. So Beak Cop, also this is almost another card that lets you tribute. If he has 2 dark monsters, you can tribute a monster to add a patrol counter to any card, and it gets protected by that from being destroyed. So that's always nice. And so yeah, Darkest Diablos can get its effect off with this card. Barricade Board Blocker, you can add a field or continuous spell from your graveyard to your hand, which is nice by discard. It's a free discard, which is awesome. But that's not really, you don't really use it for anything else other than that. Next, we do play the one Lusa, the one Saryuja Skuldred, and the one Boral Sword. Obviously, we all know what they do. Lusa, monster effects, monster negations. You know, Saryuja Skuldred to draw power cards and put them back, especially from hand, and Boral Sword for OTK. I mean, not much to explain with these guys. I mean, I guess I could go into the side deck. The side deck is really dependent on where you are, but I'm just gonna go ahead and play Naberius at 3 because best going second card, building up your opponent's entire board by tributing it all off. Now there we go again with the tributing effect. So we all know what it does. Push an opponent summons 5 monsters, tribute them all off the field, bring them out, gets rid of the whole board. Next, we do play the best hand trap currently against Spirals because, I mean, screw Spirals for abusing my Magician's Souls. But Sherlock Burt to just kind of like lock your opponent out of getting cards from your deck to hand, obviously. I mean, that's just, yeah, it's nuts. And we do have Cosmic Cyclone, obviously for back row removal. You already have Banishing, but sometimes you kind of just need to get these guys. You know, you kind of have to play these sometimes just to get back row completely blown out. Triple Super Poly. Alright, well, you know this is coming. If you're going second, this card's amazing. Or if you know what your opponent's playing and you're going first, you can just set it and, you know, Super Poly into whatever you need. I do have a Super Poly target in the side deck, so I'll show you that in a minute. But first, we are playing the 3 evenly matched, one of the best board breakers. You know, at the end of battle phase, play it, banish everything your opponent has face down, except for 1 card, which is nutty. It's nuts, really. I can't believe that this card even exists. And this card is coming back in popularity, which is amazing. And I love it. I got these when it was like $26 back when the reprint came out first time. Next, last side deck card, we do play the World Chalice Guard Dragon Alberduke because Spirals. It takes 3 link monsters, has some pretty good effects to it, but in that's kind of all you use it for is again, you get Spirals. Alright, and that is basically it for the deck profile. Hope you guys liked it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.